Black Ops 6 Zombies DLC 1 Citadelle Des Morts, the very first map to come very early inside of Black Ops 6 Zombies' DLC cycle, which I am so excited for. In this video, I want to run down literally everything there is to know thus far regarding this map. And hopefully I pronounced the name correctly. Now, in terms of the release date, which is probably the most important thing you want to know, it's going to be releasing inside of Season 1 Reloaded. Now, obviously, Season 1 is about to release on November 14th, so it seems like Call of Duty seasons are going to be moving to Thursdays now instead of Wednesdays, and this may coincide as well with the Reloaded update, which will probably be the 11th of December, but it could be the 12th of December if they are going to be going with Thursdays now instead. Whilst there's not a confirmed release date, it is very likely. If not, it'll be somewhere close to then, whether it's the week prior or after. And in the meantime, whilst we're waiting for this map to release, Trek will be adding the directed, casual, guided versions of the main quest for both Liberty Falls as well as Terminus with Season 1's release. So basically, you don't have long now to complete these quests to be able to get access to the exclusive calling cards for doing them before the guided versions release. So if you haven't yet done it, I would highly recommend doing so. And if you want to leave your Activision IDs in the comments below to try and find some players to do it with, by all means go ahead and do so. I hope you can get it done in time, but the guided versions seem to be pretty much the only thing coming for Zombies at launch, so pretty much all of the other content will be coming later in season. But let's talk about the new map, Citadelle Des Morts itself. I am so excited for this map because it literally looks like the Eisendrache 2.0, and that is very, very important because DLC 1 is always the most important DLC map to ever release. And it makes sense. This is when the most players will be tuning in, and if people feel burnt by the first map, they're not going to be choosing in for the rest of the DLC lifecycle. And I think Black Ops 3 Zombies was such a success because DLC 1 was such a smash hit with the Eisendrache, which still to this day most people regard as the best Zombies map of all time. It's just so simplistic and does everything so well and flawlessly. It's just such a well-rounded experience. So the fact we're going to a medieval castle again within DLC 1 has high hopes for me, because I think a problem has been in recent years that a lot of the Zombies maps have just been kind of generic facilities, and with Terminus and Liberty Falls, Terminus has a great atmosphere, but it's still contained within a facility, and the fact we're going to a medieval castle again so far from that atmosphere has me so excited. And a big concern for a lot of people with Liberty Falls is they wanted more out there environments for the future, which they seem to be doing with this map, and it has me wondering if Trek are going to be going to other similar locations to where we've been before in future DLC maps and even COD 2025. Trek have clearly been looking back at the past and taking ideas for where they want to go in the future. Now, whilst I am very excited to be going to a medieval castle again, but this time of day, which is a stark contrast to the Eisendrache, at the same time, part of me does kind of wish that we had somewhere entirely brand new and we don't tread on old ground. Don't get me wrong, I'm very excited for this location, and the Eisendrache is amazing, but like I say, at the same time, I want to go to places completely out there that we have never even come close to touching before. Let me know in the comments if you agree. And I think the fact that this map is going to be set during the day really solidifies the fact that the problem that people were complaining about with Liberty Falls, not so much now that the game's actually launched because the map is very fun, but particularly before launch, people were complaining about the fact it's just too bright and set at day, and I think the problem's never been that it's set at day. You can see the atmosphere of this map, whilst it is set at day, they've gone for a really cloudy atmosphere and it's moody, more akin to, say, Shangri-La with the clouds there, and it looks really beautiful. Now, we only have a few shots of it thus far, of course, one showing the full outer area of the map. On the actual roadmap, they have an image that's more up close as well to the front of the castle, and then we have another image showing the sheer scale of it. Now, in terms of the map size, I have to assume that's probably not going to be as large as Terminus, but it's going to be much larger than Liberty Falls. However, I think it might have much more space than Terminus, because obviously you have the outer islands and the water on Terminus, a lot of area which you don't go too often, so I think this map, you're going to be accessing the full scale of it. And the castle looks huge. It looks even bigger than the castle of the Eisendrache. In terms of the map location, this map is going to be set in Avalon, which is the upcoming Warzone map that's going to be releasing next year with COD 2025. It should have been this year, but it got delayed because they're bringing back Verdansk instead in spring, unfortunately, and it's going to be set in France. Now, this is leading some people to say, well, this is just some sort of reused Warzone point of interest, Quest. Well, I don't think that's exactly the case. I think it's going to be set somewhere out of bounds near where the Warzone map is taking place. For example, people have already managed to glitch or go in theater mode outside of the playable areas of the multiplayer maps, as many of them are similarly set in Avalon, and even the Season 1 multiplayer maps are set in Avalon, and from what I've seen, there's not any sort of giant castle like this. So I think we might be able to see it in the distance whilst we're playing the Warzone experience, and it's going to be set very close by, but not it directly. But the fact that it's set in France has me excited, because some people have been speculating that it could actually be based on the real-life French castle of Carcassonne. And if you look at the side-by-sides, they do look very similar, so it very much could be. Whilst canonically it might not be the same castle, you can see that there's probably been a lot of inspiration for it, and it might not be exactly one-to-one as in the Hohenwerfen castle in Austria that the Eisendrache is based on, but it does seem to be very similar. And apparently there's going to be a medieval village that's alongside of the centerpiece of the castle itself, maybe somewhat similar to Resident Evil 8. For example, you might have the castle above with the village down below, which is very similar to the Eisendrache, which is pretty much probably the inspiration for this map. I mean, they even released a multiplayer version of the Eisendrache set in that village in Black Ops 4, which is crazy that was never released as its own zombies map. Now, the official description for this map is: after the shocking revelation at the culmination of the Terminus main quest, Weaver, Maya, Carver, and Grey follow the uncovered clues to Europe and discover an abandoned castle, a Citadelle of the Dead, if you will, which is the translation for the map's name, Citadelle Des Morts. So some people are probably just going to be calling it Citadel, it's shorter. And obviously at the end of the Terminus main quest, S.A.M. Sam, the AI Richtofen made of Samantha Maxis, is guiding us to try and locate the Sentinel artifact in Avalon, as Richtofen's apparently en route here, but we know Sam is lying to us, leading us into a trap for her own agenda that we don't know what that is just yet. And that has me excited because it means that maybe we're going to activate and find the Sentinel artifact on this map, and it's going to be a more chaos-inspired map. However, I've got a feeling like we either fail to find the Sentinel artifact on this map, or we find it right at the end of the quest and then activate it or something like that, or it gets stolen from us and we have to go to another map first, potentially the dig site map that was leaked. Maybe that's even somewhat set close to this location in Avalon, because looking at the Warzone experience, there's plenty of ruins and dig sites, so maybe we're going to have another map in Avalon before then having to head all the way back to West Virginia, go back to Liberty Falls for the final two maps in search of Richtofen once we find out Sam's lying to us and Richtofen's been sent into the Dark Ether. As we saw in the Liberty Falls intro, we're going to have to go back there at some point for the Janus Towers and Mansion maps. So maybe the Sentinel artifact will be in that dig site or something like that. I wonder when we're going to find out Sam's lying to us though, whether it's sooner rather than later. Now, the rest of the description for the map reads: that offers up a host of redacted, ghoulish horrors redacted, medieval village redacted, with hidden redacted abound. So yeah, lots redacted there, so not too much we can make from that. But like I say, it seems like there's going to be some new ghoulish horrors and there is going to be a medieval village we can explore as well. But this has me so excited because we're going to an amazing location for DLC 1. Like I say, this is the most important DLC by a long shot. And the thing is, we're going to be tracking down Kraft, who is being interrogated by the French syndicate, employed by Richtofen and Project Janus to try and locate the Sentinel artifact, who have also captured Gabriel Kraft from Vanguard Zombies, who is somehow still alive, long into his old age, and Ravenov is working for the syndicate, this mob group. So they're going to be a big part of the map, and maybe they've turned this old ancient castle into their fortress, their place of operations. Now also in the Terminus ending, we see there's a folder called The Keep, so we thought that this map would be called The Keep, and it turns out I was right with my speculation that I was making before, because this map codename leaked a very long time ago, and a keep is a fortress or a castle, so I've been thinking we're going to be heading to a castle in this DLC for a long time, and it turns out that was actually the case. Now, I'm not going to lie, I thought we would be somewhere closer to Liberty Falls, because I don't know how we've gone from the Philippine Sea all the way across the world to France in Europe, but somehow we have in this probably short period of time. But yeah, I thought we'd be set in a castle somewhat close by, but it seems not. So I'm honestly really surprised that they never went with the Keep name, because I thought this was going to be the official name of the map, considering not only was it a leaked codename, which at that time I thought was just a codename, but the fact that it appeared in the cutscene itself made me think that it was. But the Keep, I guess, is just referring to the castle, but the full map is more than just the castle itself, including the village and whatever else. Maybe some underground playground areas as well. This map seems like it's going to be very large, like I say. So the keep is just the code name. So the keep is the map. I mean, like I say, it's even referenced in that folder, the redacted Janus folders that Sam managed to hack into and get access to, but the actual map name is Citadelle Des Morts. And so far as well, I thought this might be a Janus facility. Now, we can't really see from the images if it is a Janus facility. I'm hoping it's not actually, because like I said, I don't want to just see facility map after facility map, but we can see that there appears to be some traps. On one image, we seem to see some sort of drawbridge trap that you can probably activate there, and then you also have the antenna, which I'm sure will be either involved in the main quest to send some sort of signal to potentially try and find Richtofen, or maybe that's involved in some sort of side quest. And as well, in the other image, we can see one of the Gobblegum locations right at the front of the castle, so we can definitely explore outside the castle, and like I say, we can go into the village as well. And some information has leaked on the maps as well from the files of the game, because the code names are in. The code name for Citadel is Bloodstone, and you can see the code mentions easy, life, fun, dope. I have no idea what they mean, and they probably only make sense to the developers, so I don't know if there's going to be like different mode variants for it, or some sort of Easter egg that gives you maybe like some sort of fun filter or something like that. I have really no idea, but it does seem like there's going to be a tavern teleporter portal, so maybe there's a teleporter that takes you between the castle and the village itself, sort of similar to, for example, Firebase Z. One of the other maps codenames is Opal. Whilst we don't know what map this actually is, it references ritual bowls, so that has me excited, and again might have some sort of more chaos demonic theming, maybe similar to this first DLC map. And I'm thinking this could be, for example, for this dig site map, if it's going to be set close by in Avalon, as I'm feeling like I say, the latter two DLCs will be back at Liberty Falls, where I feel like this demonic theme doesn't make as much sense, and it's going to be more technological regarding the facility of Janus Towers and the mansion, and Janus's experiments there. And before we continue and jump in with the rest of the Black Ops 6 Zombies DLC 1 information, breaking everything down, I first have an amazing controller to let you be aware of. So stay tuned and we'll be right back. Enjoy. I want to introduce you to the perfect controller for you to use to enhance your precision, comfort and immersion all in one. The GameSir G7HE controller. This might be your next go-to, and I want to give a big thank you to them for kindly letting me try one out for you too. For them kindly letting me try one out so that I can showcase it in this video, but let's get into it. This controller is compatible with the Xbox Series X/S, Xbox One and Windows PCs. Whether you're on Xbox or PC, it's plug in and play. This means no need to mess with the drivers, just plug it in with the 3-meter detachable USB-C cable and you are good to go. Super easy. Now what really sets this controller apart for me is the Hall effect joysticks and triggers. These joysticks use non-contact magnetic sensors, which means they never wear down. You heard me, no stick drift. I'm sure you are sick of just buying controller over and over again because of this issue. You will never get stick drift ever. That's a huge win. And the anti-friction glide rings, they make your movements smoother than butter. Plus the Hall effect triggers are analog, which gives you super precise control. Whether you are racing, shooting or platforming, these triggers give you 100% response with consistent smoothness every time. You are going to feel the difference in your game, trust me. And it has 2 custom back buttons. You can toggle them on or off with ease with quick latches, so you don't have to worry about false triggers. You want to up your game and customize your experience, this controller is for you. And let's talk about immersion. This controller has 4 rumble motors, 2 in the grips and 2 behind the triggers. You are not just pressing buttons, you are feeling the game. Add in the 3.5mm audio jack for your headset and you are fully locked in for a fully immersive gaming session. Comfort wise, this thing is a dream. The grip has this ultra fine, laser engraved texture that makes sure it doesn't slip during those intense moments. Whether you've been playing for an hour or 5, it's staying in your hands, feeling great the whole time. And you've got options for style too. You can choose black or white so you can match it to your setup or your vibe. Seriously, if you're looking for a controller that's got precision, customization and next level immersion, the GameSir G7HE is where it's at. So check out the link in the description if you would like to grab one to level up your gameplay today. And once again, I want to give a big thank you for GameSir kindly sponsoring this video. I hope you enjoy. Now in Season 1 there's going to be a new perk added. Now specifically they say in this announcement that these updates are going to be coming throughout Season 1. So we don't actually know if they're all going to be added with DLC 1 and Season 1 Reloaded, or they're going to be sprinkled sporadically. So we don't know if this new perk will be added right when the new map drops, or if it's going to be sometime before, or even technically afterwards. However, they say the new perk is going to come with 6 new augments to unlock, and it will also be added to the Der Wunderfizz machines in Livy Falls and Terminus, which was a question here. That's what they did with Cold War Zombies, but we weren't sure if they would be sticking to the same routine with Black Ops 6, which is definitely a bit of an issue considering you can only get the Wunderfizz on round 25, and they're not going to be adding a new perk machine for the new perks, so you're going to be having to go into those high rounds to get all of the perks, which some like, some dislike. What perk will that actually be though? In the files of the game, there's actually been various different returning perks found, such as Double Tap, Mule Kick, Death Perception, and actually Vulture Aid even from Buried. And Tombstone has also been found in the files, so that could be one coming, but that's enough for pretty much all of the DLC, so I don't know if we're going to be getting one per DLC or something like that, and I do think that because they're saying that all of this content is coming in season, this is a good opportunity to space this content out instead of just having it all crammed into one update, and I think this will be good as well for the other seasons. When there aren't new zombies maps releasing, they can have a decent amount of content such as these smaller scale updates to give new life to the old maps as well in between main map releases. So they are all on the table for this perk, of course changed up now with the augments. Double Tap though was in the files of Cold War Zombies and it was never released. It got swapped out for Death Perception instead, so we don't know if it's ever going to actually release, but I'd hazard a guess for this first DLC that probably Vulture Aid would be the most likely one to release, which I'm not sure how exactly it would work if they are planning to also have Death Perception sometime in the future, which Vulture Aid and Death Perception let you see through walls at items such as the mystery box, perks, items, etc. But Vulture Aid allows you to get ammo drops from zombies, which would be very useful inside of this game where ammunition is short. It would also give random meat stink zombies, which if you would stand in the stink, you would be invisible from the zombies for a short duration whilst you stand in it. I personally would really want to see this perk return, and it makes the most sense to me to return. It's the one we've not seen for the longest amount of time and has barely been in the games at all. Obviously, I mean, we saw like a new rendition of it before in Black Ops 4, and some of the abilities of it were implemented into some of the perk upgrades in Cold War Zombies. However, I would love to see this back. I do also want to see Double Tap back, but I'm not sure how they would do it this time around because it was so overpowered, and that's why they've removed it for so long, because they felt like it became such a crutch. But if they do some sort of twisted version of it, now that we have augments as well, it can be very different to its original, instead of just doubling your fire rate and damage of your weapons. A new ammo mod is going to be coming as well, with 6 new augments to unlock. Various different ammo mods that aren't in the game have been added into the files of the game, such as Shatter Blast has been found, and there is actually a new one called a Light Ray that has not released as well, so these could be the ones that are coming. Frost Blast is even in the files as well, which is one that a lot of people are saying is going to be this DLC. So yeah, there's various different ones it could be. A new field upgrade will be coming at some point as well, like I say, sometime during Season 1, and there's various ones it could be. However, in some of the marketing material for Black Ops 6, they did accidentally show Tesla Storm in it, so this could be the one that is releasing, coming with 6 new augments to unlock as well, but it could be many of the other ones. Now there's going to be 3 new Gobblegums coming as well in the season. We have really no idea what they could be because from the files of the game I don't think there's many actually there, but one, a whimsical one, Quacknarok from Black Ops 4 Zombies, which would just put this duck floater on the zombies, is going to be coming because it's in the files of the game, so it'll be releasing at some point. Makes total sense with Terminus having water as well, so I assume that's probably going to be one of them, but we don't know for sure. And from the image that they showed of it, it seems like we're getting an ultra rare one, a rare one, and like I say, a whimsical one. Now they've already confirmed that shopping free will be added, and considering they've already announced that, maybe this is going to be the one that is added, which will just allow you to buy everything for free for a certain amount of time. The hand cannon is going to be added as a craftable support weapon that we had in Cold War Zombies as well. There's going to be some new wonder weapons, and they say weapons, yes, weapons. So there's not just going to be one wonder weapon, and because they've said this content is going to be coming throughout the season, we don't know if all of the wonder weapons, like I say, are going to be with DLC 1, and what this means is that we might have a wonder weapon that's added that's not specific to this Citadel map, for example. In the files of the game, the Ray Gun Mark II has been found, so we know it's going to be releasing at some point. Now I do think it's more than likely going to be probably with the Janus Towers DLC map. It makes the most sense if it's some sort of facility that might have crafted it and recreated it. However, at the same time, it could very well be something added, for example, before the Season 1 Reloaded update itself, or even after, as its own update just added onto all maps instead instead of a map-specific wonder weapon. The Gun MK2, when it was initially added on Buried, it was added to the other maps inside of the mystery box as well in Black Ops 2. But a lot of people have taken new wonder weapons to mean that we might be getting elemental wonder weapons on this Citadel map, especially because it seems to be taking heavy inspiration from the Eisendrache that had the elemental bows. And a big one that a lot of people have been theorizing are elemental swords, and I think that would be so cool. It's rare that we get melee weapons. I think we did inside of World War II Zombies. We had Barbarossa's sword, and then on the Berlin DLC map we had some elemental swords there. It's been a long time since I played that, but in terms of Treyarch Zombies, we haven't had too many swords. We had Takeo's katana before, but it wasn't too crazy, and I think now would be the perfect time to have some elemental swords that make complete sense on a medieval castle map and would be a great contender to the bows that we had under Eisendrache before. Now, there's going to be a new enemy type as well. Now, the image for it is redacted, and right now a lot of people are speculating that this could actually be some sort of mimic returning. Now, it's very hard to tell because the image is redacted, but it does look kind of like a mimic. Now, there was actually an image of a new zombie type that was on some of the merge that you can get for Black Ops 6. In fact, you can even still buy it now, called the Ghoul. Now, obviously, we had the Amalgam on Terminus that is very similar to the mimic in that it can pull you in. So I'm wondering if we might see some sort of two-headed mimic type thing because it has these long tentacles, so I could see it being able to draw you in. So maybe that's what this is. Judging from the image, it kind of looks like a crab or a lobster. It reminds me of the crabs that we saw in Attack of the Radioactive Thing from Infinite Warfare Zombies, for example, but it's covering the face, so it's a bit hard to tell exactly, but the feet definitely look sort of crab-like or some sort of other crustacean. And we know that Avalon does seem to be set near a lot of water. There's a lot, judging from the Warzone variant, so it could definitely make sense there, seemingly being set by the coast itself. So that's everything for the Citadel map as well as the additional content, but Treyarch have said that there's going to be varying timing on upcoming Zombies content, as some content may drop at seasonal launches and or in season, so they didn't give us a specification there, and they did also say that there's going to be some special events, in-game events and festivities coming in the season as well. Now, Jingle Hells has been found in the files of the game, so it does seem like we're going to be getting some sort of Christmas update as well. And inside of the bar pass for season 1, there are going to be Gobblegums such as the Wonder Bar 1, and there's going to be some zombies inspired bundles as well. For example, the Parasite Warrior Tracer Pack and Ultra Skin, which literally has Carver inside of this horrific creature, one of the most disgusting looking bundles we've ever seen, but so cool at the same time. But this would be so cool as an Easter egg reward. There's also going to be a new ray gun skin sold with the I Dead bundle, and we know in season 1 as well that the Beam Smasher is going to be getting a new skin. So that's everything we know about DLC 1 thus far and what's coming in season 1 for Black Ops 6 Zombies. Let me know all of your thoughts and theories on this in the comments below. I'll leave a link to a video in the description, which is before we knew the official map name, when we thought it was just going to be the Keep, which goes over more of the storyline you need to know for the map, but this is more so the gameplay stuff, and I'll be sure to cover all of the news as it is released as we move closer to the update. With season 1's release, we'll of course be getting new intel added as well, which will give us more storyline stuff, and I'm sure there's going to be one specifically about DLC 1, so, and potentially even future DLC maps, since we already have intel on pretty much all of them apart from the dig site location, which again I think we'll learn more about on the Keep. Without further ado, thank you for watching the video. Make sure to subscribe if you're not for latest and greatest Call of Duty news information. So anyways, thank you for watching, and bye.